Sounds
But
good.
okay, so delighted to be here with you today, Kato, to learn a little bit more about Loop and for you to share about what Loop's all about and where it's heading. We've been using it at Entreflow for, I think, over a year now, at least. And so our clients have seen some really good value. And so I thought it would be great to get together and you could share a little bit more about the app and where it's heading. So the first question I have for you is, what is your company? What do you guys do?
Yeah, absolutely. So Loop is a banking platform. What we do is we help Canadian companies access tools and services to be able to manage their money more effectively. We identified that there was quite a big gap in the market for small business banking. So if you go to traditional bank to do your banking, a lot of the kind of small business tools are really just consumer tools that are rebranded as small business. And that really creates a lot of pain points and friction for small business owners who are trying to find a better way to manage their money every day. So we created Loop as a platform to help companies manage all of their financial services in a more streamlined way. Talking from personal experience here, my parents were business owners, so I've kind of been an entrepreneur, involved in entrepreneurship for almost all of my life, and know how important the ability to effectively manage your money or simply manage your money is to running a business. And so that
Mhm.
was the kind of motivation behind starting Loop.
Very cool. And Loop was a different company beforehand, was it not? Focused on business loans, right?
Yeah, exactly. We started out as a kind of business lending company, and the reason that we started in that space is, we always wanted to solve financial services challenges for businesses.
Yeah.
That was kind of our mission and goal from day one. The first kind of pain point that we thought we would solve is access to capital or funding, which is obviously something that many businesses struggle with.
Yeah.
Through that journey of offering capital and loans to businesses, we learned a lot, and I'd say like kind of to break that learning down into a simple thing. We learned that the ability to help companies is much more than just capital. Like oftentimes capital is not the root cause of the problem. Maybe it's a working capital problem because they're taking too long to get paid, for example, or they
Mhm.
don't have good enough credit terms with their suppliers. And so that was kind of one of the motivations behind expanding the business is there's a lot more ways using technology we can help business owners be successful. And that's essentially how we transformed from what was originally called Lending Loop into what is just Loop today.
Who is Loop best suited for, would you say? The current
Yeah.
instance of Loop, the banking. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I would say businesses anywhere from somebody starting up all the way up to we have customers that are doing, north of $25 million in revenue. And I would say that kind of the thing that's common for all of our customers in many cases is they either make purchases in different currencies or they
Mhm.
have revenue coming in different currencies. So we have a couple of products that really help businesses be successful. One of them is the ability to get bank accounts in different countries so they can actually open up an account. Like you can go to a traditional bank and open up a Canadian account, but as soon as you start needing to do business outside of Canada, say the US, UK,
Yeah.
or Europe, it really becomes complex. So that's one of the things that we help companies with is the ability to get local banking services in other markets. And that's typically for one or two reasons. One, you need to get paid in another country or currency, or you need to make a payment. You need to purchase supplies or inventory somewhere internationally.
Yeah.
Those are two ways in which our platform really stands out from some of the traditional offerings in the market.
That's awesome. Our clients have been loving it because as someone I personally tried to open up a Euro account and it took me 4 months and then they declined my account and then sent me a letter saying you haven't used your account, so we've closed it on you.
Oh no.
So, so it was a very challenging situation. But for our clients that we've set up foreign accounts with, it's been super easy, and then they've been able to access that easily. We as accountants can access the account easily. We have a lot of clients who have, say, a U.S. domicile bank account. Even with Canadian-based banks, it's still hard for us to get access to those bank accounts because they're different platforms, and
Yeah.
it's really hard for us to get the read-only access and whatnot. So this is easy. We can go in, we can see what's going on, we can get the transactions, move on with our life. What would you say is the wow factor for your app? What is the thing that people are
Yeah.
the most excited about?
Often when somebody realizes that they can get an account in another country, that's a wow factor. So, using Loop, you can log in and open up a US domiciled account. It's an FDIC insured account that gives you an account number and a routing number located in the US. To your
Mhm.
point, I've spoken to people who waited a year to get that set up. So they went to the bank, they first got a Canadian domiciled US
Yeah.
account, So it was here in Canada. So when they were trying to do business in the US, there was no easy way for somebody to make a payment to them. Then they got
Mhm.
transferred over to, the US division of the bank and went through, paperwork and forms and three different account managers. They got it set up, and then it's $150 in fees per month to have the account, like just to, have the
Yeah.
account be open. And so, this is, I'm telling a real story of a customer. They opened up, the account with Loop. They had the US account open in 24 hours after they signed up. And
Yeah.
for them, that was their wow factor of, I can't believe that this took 24 hours when I spent a year trying to do this with a traditional bank.
Exactly.
So I'd say that's often, the overall wow factor is just the speed and seamlessness that you can open up products with us. I would say that, our multi-currency accounts or a multi-currency credit card, so the ability to have a single credit card that lets you spend money in different currencies,
Yeah.
are often things that people look at and say, wow, this is a product that is like so difficult to get anywhere else, but you make
Mhm.
it so easy to get this.
Yeah, for sure. And to add to that too, the FX savings is massive, right? So from an economics perspective, our clients have saved a lot just, being able to pay for their US software expenses with a USD credit card, because that's really hard to get otherwise, but to have that multi-currency credit card and be able to pay for it with their USD income in their USD bank
Yeah.
account through Loop, it just makes it's so much easier for them. Personally, I have a USD bank account at CIBC because we have clients that are in the US. I have to go into the bank to move that money from one account to another account. And with Loop, since getting that set up, I'm able to do that really quickly, and I'm getting a way better FX rate as well. So it's not only easier, but it's also saving us some basis points as well. What would you
Mhm.
say are some of the top requests that you get for the applicate for your app?
We get a lot of requests. There's a lot of people who are always asking for new products and services.
Yeah.
I would say that kind of the one of the largest things that people often ask us about is investments.
Okay.
So for businesses who have capital, they have excess cash and maybe they want to earn more interest. Like a lot of banks will pay 0.5%, for example, on your deposits with the bank, or even less than that. There are other ways to invest that money, but
Yeah.
it's kind of complex. You got to move your money to a different provider. You got to open up an account. It's sometimes opaque as to like how easy it is to move money in and out of it. So one of the things that we definitely want to provide or launch to customers at Loop, which is on popular request, is the ability to earn a higher rate on your extra savings. So,
Okay.
imagine you could make 4.5% on your capital or your cash that's just kind of sitting, that's not being utilized in the business.
Mhm.
I think that would be something that would be very attractive and help companies, boost their bottom line.
Very cool. Would you also look at maybe some integrations with some investment platforms like Wealthsimple or the likes as well?
Yeah, I mean, we would definitely offer it as an investment offering. In terms of the mechanics of how we offer it, or who will offer it through. That's definitely something that's TBD at this point
Cool.
in terms of the how. But absolutely, we're definitely looking at providing a more comprehensive offering than just like a vanilla put your money in this account and get a certain rate of return. Like we actually want to offer different kind of offerings or portfolios to our customers.
What can you do about, or what does your app, do you say, do to reduce fraud or any other kind of issues that people might have with, standard high street banks?
Yeah, I would say that the most important thing I can say there is like transaction visibility. Obviously, we've built a lot of processes and monitoring and stuff like that on
For sure.
on our end. But from a customer's perspective, like oftentimes I speak to people and they don't know what transactions are going in and out of their account until they look at their monthly statement at the end of the month. Or they have to log into a portal to get
Yeah.
information. And so, like it's things as simple as when you make a payment from Loop, you can get an email notification that says like, here's how much you paid and here's who you made the payment to.
Yeah.
That might sound super simple, but in reality, things like that actually are one of the best ways to combat fraud, but just
Yeah.
having the visibility and awareness. So, me personally, I have my phone set up so that every purchase on our Loop credit cards, I get a text message every time something's going through. So if I ever see a charge that I'm like, what's that about? I can quickly react or send a message to someone on the team to figure out what's going on. That's a lot more effective than, like I said, doing it once a month or whatever and having to go back and say, what was this charge that happened 30 days ago? I would say that visibility and real-time awareness is definitely a key driver for for helping companies combat fraud.
For sure. No, that makes sense. What advice, finally, what last question for you? What advice would you have for other business owners?
Yeah, I think we spoke a little bit about before the story of Loop and starting as a lending company and evolving. I think, for companies that are thinking about growing or expanding their business, or entrepreneurs that are thinking about that, really take a holistic view to understanding your finances. And so understanding, how are you getting paid? Are you getting paid in the most effective way possible? Are you making payments to your vendors in the most effective way possible? Because those things can add up both from a cost and a time perspective. So I'll give you an example. If you're, for example, only getting paid by credit card and you're paying credit card fees and maybe cross-border transaction fees on a credit card, that could add up to 6-7% of your
Sure.
revenue.
Yeah.
If you're making, payments internationally by wire and you're paying in US dollars versus in your vendor's domestic currency, again, you could be spending 3, 4, 5% more than you need to, and also taking, days, weeks longer than those processes need to take. So
Yeah.
while oftentimes companies might think of their issue as a cash crunch, like I'm running out of cash and I need to do something about it, having a better overall understanding as to how is money coming in and out of your business is sometimes a really effective way to become more profitable, minimize working capital issues, and just, have a little bit more breathing room when you're running a company.
I love it. I love it. It's like really looking at your financial management from like your money management operationally, right? I think a lot of people don't think about the operational side of their money management. They just think about, their day-to-day operations, and then we've got these accounts and things. This is how we just do things. But I really like that approach to helping to save money by just looking at putting the right processes in place and using the right systems.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, at the end of the day, business owners rightfully are so passionate about the product that they offer, or the service that they offer, and offering that. And so sometimes you do need to remind business owners that, like, it's really also important to spend an hour taking a look at your finances and optimizing that. A
Sure.
lot of people use big banks just because it's the default. Like, they've had a bank account with a big bank forever, and that's just like, who they do business with.
Yeah.
They go into the branch to send USD payments or whatever, whatever ineffective process they have. But looking at an alternative solution might save a lot of time and money.
Great. Is there any last comments you want to share before we go today?
No, thanks so much for having me on. This was great, and thanks for being a supporter of the platform. Really happy that you're having a great time with it, and look forward to offering many more features in the near future. So we
Look forward to
continue
this
to kind
one.
of make Loop more valuable.
Awesome. Love it. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Kato. Enjoy the rest of your day.